2,458 road accidents were reported in 2019, while 12,249 in 2020, a reduction of 4.7%, though the number remained high. The road carnage was attributed to reckless driving, though bad roads are captured in the report.
KCCA has waged war on those potholes and roundabouts, and they are soon getting signalized.
3,663 deaths related to traffic accidents were recorded. Male fatalities constituted 2,935, while females were 718. This was partly because males are more likely to engage in dangerous behavior while on the road than their female counterparts. Pedestrians die more when it comes to road accidents.
But we still lose more than 1,000 pedestrians on our roads.
The report also reveals that 272 million stolen cash was recovered from the recorded 2 billion. 7 million was recovered from 5 billion lost to cybercrime. 220 million recovered from 4 billion lost due to land fraud.
Actually, this chair is because cases are reported when the money is already stolen and transferred, some to outside countries in accounts outside and withdrawn, even if it is withdrawn within Kampala, because the perpetrators even use false documents to register accounts, to register with the URSB, and so it becomes very hard to recover.
The report indicates that 4,000 phones were stolen in 2020 compared to 5,000 phones that were stolen in 2019. But the same report is silent on the number of phones that were recovered by Uganda police.
Some phones are stolen and taken to other countries, and as long as it has been taken to another telephone company, for example, the neighboring countries, I don't want to mention, then in our system we can't track, but we have the capacity to track.
Victims are advised to report cases in time and as well report any form of extortion, since police chiefs say getting money from victims is not the norm of Uganda police. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News at Naguru Police Headquarters.
Still with the police report of 2020, our reporter Abdul Nasir Lukomwa looks at domestic violence that slightly increased as indicated in the report.
The just released annual police crime report reveals an increment in domestic violence. 17,664 cases of domestic violence were reported in 2020 compared to 13,693 in 2019, giving a 29% increase. This is due to failure to provide for family, drug and alcohol abuse, among other contributors. Defilement cases increased by 3.8%, where 14,194 cases of defilement were reported in 2020 compared to 13,613 in 2019.
Victims defiled by persons who were HIV positive, we were 301. Children with disability were 125. Defiled by guardians, 120. Defiled by parents, more especially male fathers defiling their daughters, 120. Defiled by teachers, those who were in primary, they were 52.
1,480 victims were female, while 140 were male, where 5,745 cases were taken to court, 794 convicted, 22 acquitted, 168 dismissed.
And the reasons for low posting of the number of cases taken to courts were closed. Even the DPP were operating at half capacity, and witnesses could also not attend to the police when you're looking for them for statements to back up the investigations.
East Choga region registered a high number of cases of defilement, followed by Greater Masaka, Albertine, and Elgon. The report further indicates that 1,015 fire emergencies were handled in 2020 compared to 999 in 2019. representing a 1.6% increment.
It was because there were more people at home during 2020, during lockdown, that more fires occurred in residential places and contributed to a rise in the number of fire incidents compared to 2019.
Police, on the other hand, is still challenged by inadequate resources and manpower gaps to respond to crimes and emergencies effectively.
There is extortion of money from the public due to lack of transport. One challenge we have as K9 is that we have a challenge of transport, whereby we have very few vehicles in just 15 districts.
It is also indicated in the report that police is most time stuck with the dumb, blind suspects, witnesses, victims, which presents a challenge during interrogation and trial. Abdunasir Lukomwa, UBC News.
Hajara Nachito, a resident of Masajja in Wakiso district, has filed a suit against the Attorney General of Uganda over the death of her son Amos Segawa, who was allegedly shot dead during the 18th, 19th November 2020 riots. Nachito, through her lawyer Matanda Abeka, wants government to compensate her following the loss of her 15-year-old son, who was shot dead and was a student at Mengo Secondary School.
Following the riots which occurred on 18th and 19th November 2020, Amos Segawa, a 15-year-old resident of Masajja, Wakiso district, was among those who were allegedly shot dead. While addressing the nation following the riots, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni promised to compensate all those who were injured, and including those who lost their relatives and loved ones in the riots.
If you are not a rioter, but you lost your life, the government, after due process, will compensate for the loss of life. The government will also compensate those who lost their properties.
However, since then, it has allegedly been done, although many people, including victims, have come out to seek for justice and compensation. Following this prolonged promise, Monday morning, Hajara Nachito, a mother to the deceased Amos Segawa, filed a suit in High Court Civil Division, Kampala, against the Attorney General seeking for compensation.
Tukimanyi bulungi nti obulamu bw'omuntu tebusobola kuliyirirwa. Naye tulowooza nti obulumi bwayiseemu ne famire ye bweyiseemu, singa baliyirirwa kisobola okubayamba okwekumaakuma babe nga baddamu okutereeza obulamu bwabwe, naye n'okutwala okubanga okulabula oba okulaga gavumenti abakuumaddembe nti enkola eyo gye baakolamu teyali nnungi era teyeetaaga kuddibwamu.
Nachito, in filing this case, was represented by her lawyer, Matanda Abeka.
Tetuli basirikale naye tukimanyi nti wabeerawo akajagalalo, waliwo standard operating procedures oba engeri obujagalalo gye bugibwawo. Tukimanyi nti ekisooka si kukuba abantu masasi. Sinakindi na Katono yalina mwana muto ng'atambula. Tulowooza nti abakuumaddembe bakozesa eryanyi erisukkiridde eritali mu mateeka.
Mrs. Hajara says she was expecting a lot from his son, hence the need for compensation.
Weewunye omwana engeri gye bamulonda ku school team kitegeeza aba w'amaanyi eya Lubiri High School, kitegeeza alina ekitone, banna mulinamu essuubi ly'amaanyi ate yali mwana mugezi nnyo mu kibiina okusingira ddala sikyasobola kuzza bulamu bwa mwana wange. Kyensinga okwagala njagala bwenkanya compensation.
Nachito says he was tired of seeking for help and justice from different offices, all in vain.
Okuva omwana lwange lwe baamutta eri ekitongole kya poliisi kintambuzza okumala emyezi 6. Nagobwa ku mulimu, ngobwa mu nju, sifunye kuyambibwa kwonna.
In filing this case, Nachito also attached a post-mortem report from Mengo Doctors Clinic, where the deceased took his last breath after being shot in the neck. According to the report, Amos Segawa's death was due to cardiac arrest, hemorrhage and respiratory arrest. It is alleged that during the 18th and 19th November 2020 riots, over 50 people were killed and over 1,000 were arrested and paraded in courts of law from different parts of the country. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Forum for Democratic Change Electoral Commission has presented Member of Parliament for Kira Municipality Semuju Ibrahim Nganda and Mawokota South Legislator Yusuf Nswambi as their party candidates for the positions of Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the 11th Parliament respectively. While addressing the media at Najanankumbi, the FDC party chairman, Ambassador Waswabiligwa, said that this decision was reached by the Executive Committee with a belief that these two will give a new vision to the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda.
To present the best in the names of the Honorable Ibrahim Semuju Nganda, Member of Parliament, Kira Municipality, for the position of the Speaker of the 11th Parliament.
Semuju Ibrahim Nganda, Member of Parliament for Kira Municipality, and Yusuf Nswambi, MP, Mawokota South, have been chosen by Forum for Democratic Change Party, FDC, Executive Committee to compete for Speaker and Deputy Speaker positions, respectively, in the 11th Parliament. According to the Chief Electoral Commissioner, FDC, Boniface Toterebo Kabamwenda, this decision was reached at through a transparent process within all party organs, and there was no dissenting voice.
Because we have normally process, you have to indicate your interest to show seriousness that me, I'm serious. You fill our form, then we know you are a really serious candidate. Or there could be others who may have whispered in the corridors within their colleagues, and somebody thinks, but I think so-and-so is better than me. So-and-so is better than me. In those processes, which shows political maturity in the party, then we eventually agreed on Semuju for Speaker and Yusuf Nswambi for Deputy.
The party leadership endorsed the two on grounds that they are people of integrity and also respect human rights.
Of Uganda need dynamic leadership, need visionaries. The Parliament of Uganda need a new dispensation to look at things differently from the prisms that have been used for the last 15 years.
The chairman, Forum for Democratic Change Party, Ambassador Waswabiligwa, appeals to all members in the 11th Parliament to rally behind the FDC candidates since they are capable of articulating issues concerning Ugandans. These processes of choosing the two potential candidates are expected to continue until fulfillment in the 11th Parliament. I'm Nafka Farida at Najanankumbi.
Survivors of the Lake Albert floods in Toroko district have asked government to degazette part of Toro Semliki Wildlife Game Reserve for their relocation. Over a year now, surviving under the perils of the 2020 lake flood, victims have continuously suffered the effects of the floods, living a life of no hope for a better future.
Over 1,500 Kanara Town Council fishing communities that were displaced as a result of Lake Albert floods have asked the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities to resettle them in parts of Toro Semliki Game Reserve to save them from continuous suffering following the destruction of their properties due to lake floods. The victims in Kanara Town Council in Toro Semliki Game Reserve were in 2021 hit by Lake Albert floods that destroyed property worth millions of money, forcing them into displacement. It is a double jeopardy, though, since the victims now living in a camp for internally displaced people at Kanara Seed School have again been affected by ongoing torrential rains pounding the area.
Our buildings were taken off by water, and now other people are staying in camps there up there.
This land is for secondary. So anytime they will chase us here. Now we have nowhere to go.
People are poverty. They don't have money to buy boats.
The resident district commissioner Toroko Kawamara Misach said, following the dire living conditions the flood victims are faced with, they had asked government through the Ministry of Tourism to allocate part of game reserve to the victims for safe settlement.
Government can allow to the Gazette part of the game reserve 3 if our people can be relocated to other areas, if government can allocate some land somewhere and our people are transferred to that place.
The Kanara Town Council NRM chairman Muhwezi Ismail said they have written directly to President Yoweri Museveni over their plight. He said the neighboring safe land, which can accommodate the flood victims, is the Toro Semiliki Game Reserve, which belongs to government, but the Line Ministry has not yet responded to the outcry, even when there have been several communications to that effect.
I communicated about the floods, but floods. People are in a camp, which is not supposed to be. I asked him at least to relocate people who were affected by water. I asked him about the road. Let the road start. We enjoy our NRM fruits.
Khalesia Stephen, Irene Kungu, UBC News.
Activists have asked government to enhance hygiene amenities in female cells, especially at police stations. Within the prison's regime for female inmates, the threat of physical and sexual gender violence is common for women prisoners. Under the umbrella body of Women Network for Human Rights Advocacy, women advocates decried poor hygiene conditions in female prisoners' cells.
Quite a number of women, either under incarceration or after suffer from bacterial infections relating to poor hygiene. In many of the detention facilities for women, overflowing buckets in cell corners are used as the only form of toilets. Supply of cleaning material is also described as inadequate in these cells. Beyond reducing the infection burden, women activists during one of their social corporate responsibilities have launched a drive to enhance hygiene in female cells. The drive that started at Nyendo Police Post kicked off with the painting and refurbishing of the female cells at the station with permission from the officer in charge. The drive was headed by Diana Natkunda.
We have come today to this police station so that we can build more of the collaboration between the police officers, and why we have chosen Masaka is that we have been with very many violations.
It's on this note that activists called upon government to consider at least fixing flush toilets in cells so as to improve the hygiene, contrary to the use of buckets.
You know that within the women's cells, I don't know what happens in the men's cells, but most especially the women's cells, we have no toilets inside, so we have to use like one bucket, one basin, which really does not promote hygiene of a woman. So in future, we pray and we will continue to mobilize resources in that. And also we call upon our government in that they promote the good hygiene within the women's cells, at least have a toilet inside rather than using a bucket.
Nyendo Police Post is one of those booths that receive quite a number of female suspects. Something the area person says relates to the activities around the area. Nonetheless, the officer in charge, Nyendo Police Post, Arnold Arinit, recommended the women for their humanitarian gesture. He says this is a good gesture towards strengthening of collaboration between the law enforcers and the general public.
Of course, painting the cells doesn't mean that they are encouraging people to always put them in.
The drive to be rolled out across the country was held in commemoration of 8th March, Women's Day. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC TV.
Susan Naonga, thank you so much. And at this point, let's take a very short break. On return, we have more. Please keep it with us.
No one should stop you from finishing what's yours. That's why MTN gives you data bundles that don't expire. Load MTN Freedom Bundles using My MTN app and enjoy the freedom to finish your data bundles. MTN.
Experience 100% 4G speeds across Uganda with the Airtel 4G Pocket Wi-Fi available at 123,000 shillings only. It comes with a backup battery and 15 GB free for 1 month. Visit the nearest Airtel shop, device selling shop or Airtel online shop. www.airtel.co.ug/broadband-discover. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Today tastes like a new tradition, like an old favorite. Tastes like all hands on deck and all eyes on the prize. Today tastes like a piece of the action, and it never tasted this good.
Has anyone seen Bob? Over here! How did you get in there?
With my Airtel Money MasterCard.
But you don't even have a bank account.
Well, it's not a card. It's virtual, so no plastic, and it's safer.
But what are you doing there?
I want to buy Nancy a birthday gift, book my flight tickets, renew my Big Click subscription, and order a shipment.
The Airtel Money MasterCard. It's not a card, but works just like one. Get one on the Airtel Money menu on your phone.
That's their way of stopping HIV. What about you?
Today tastes like a new tradition, like an old favorite. Tastes like all hands on deck and all eyes on the prize. Today tastes like a piece of the action, and it never tasted this good.
UBC News Tonight, welcome back from the break. Akugeziwe Bisaka, that's the heir to the late Owabusobozi Ruhanga Bisaka, has officially started his work with tours across the country, the latest being at Butuku in Toroko District. He was installed just last week and believes that the work of the Unity Faith follows, he believes that the work of the Unity of Faith followers must start immediately. During his tour of Butuku in Toroko District, Akugeziwe Bisaka lauded President Yoweri Museveni for allowing religion prosper minus any hindrance, which has allowed his unity of faith to flourish far and wide. He appealed to the unity of faith followers to work hard for economic prosperity, but importantly with target to converting as many people as possible into their faith.
unapamuza hakuwa alaba atamsisa amutenka gihanga lino kandi tusimu kisa president alibale muno tambiro oyigarukemu obonere buhanga ayakwangiri habwokuba omunsi oyambire omwoja akatahemba bibiri olubairu olumwoja ikitekerezo kyokiri yatenhanda tali mitambiro twegarukemu twegarukemu tutana twejukya
eyakase mwaka munsana emala emyaka 40
akugezibwe Bisaka, that is heir to the late Obusobozi Bisaka. Airco, one of Uganda's leading air quality data monitoring analysis and modeling platforms, has met 60 slum dwellers of Kawempe Division for a sensitization lecture at Makerere University about how human activity is reducing air quality in Kampala.
In the past, we have deployed air quality monitors in the communities and also engaged government agencies on the use of this data to improve air quality management in the city.
We are having the air quality problem that many people do not know about. So if we get the monitoring capabilities of Airco and then our capacity to build the technicalities, to build the capacity of technical people to improve on the activities we do that potentially increase air pollution, then we believe there can be a big difference.
We are trying to work together with the community using the human-centered approaches, where we work with the community to assist them to develop the solution, and then for us we bring in the science in the solution to make it actionable and implementable.
A 3.5-year project targeting vulnerable but skilled people in various communities in Uganda has been launched at Nakawa Vocational College in Kampala. The director hired Technical Vocational Education and Training at Nakawa College, Jen Engao Kou, says that the project's overall goal is to benefit over 2,400 refugees and ordinary Ugandans, but by making them self-reliant.
The Uganda Refugees Employment Promotion Project has been launched by the director, Higher Technical Vocational Education and Training at Nakawa College, Jane Ingao Oko.
Important and it's well targeted because it is in line with the government policy on refugees, which seeks to address the needs of refugees and host communities with a view of empowering them to become self-reliant so that they are able to improve their livelihood.
The principal, Nakawa Vocational College, Fred Mwanga, commended development partners, including Germany's Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation, for their efforts in providing funds to implement the project and coordinating other activities to ensure the funds are used properly. Mwanga also thanked the private sector for the support rendered and promised that all the trainees in this program will be absorbed during job placement.
Enabling environment where refugees are supposed to get the same rights as nationals, and through these rights, education is one of them. This education and training can enable them to acquire the skills which will enable them to live sustainably and also productive.
Talk to some of the trainees who couldn't hide their excitement.
My name is Mami Musa Safi. We are happy to be here. We thank you so much for this opportunity you give us, and we have learned a lot. I'm start in plumbing, and the experience is great. Thank you.
Abdul Nasir Lubwama, Fred Kasabante, UBC News.
As the lockdown on places of entertainment continues, Uganda Musicians Association has intensified its nationwide sensitization tour of artists about how to cope during this COVID-19 pandemic situation. After trips to Hoima and many other parts of the northern Uganda, their latest stopover has been Mityana and Mubende, where they met more than 200 artists at Pride Travelers Hotel. The Uganda Musicians Association team was led by renowned artist Fina Mugerwa of the Masanyalas FM.
Let us just respect the word HIV. COVID is real and they are still vaccinating. At least kati tumanyi tino webama alo vaccinating and every tubadenti to gule nenga le tumanyi what next. So mpola we will get there. But then my cry out to all the musicians. My cry out to all the musicians. Era wetubera mu workshop chemba gamba. Amasoga fega tuneke bali. Amasoga fe besides the music. Tuberenga tulina ko chetukola nze bunera zemba gamanze. Tunagweza abana kitegeeza mwe masiri ku stage. Masobola ofuna yo mutwalo kwa Santo ne Junior kunywa amata. Abayimbi tuleme tunula katulika. Akatuli akesawe no kabule tukoze tuchate tugenda kufa, tetugenda kulwana, tetugenda lwana nti era yazemu na kyogera. What next in life?
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome now to business news tonight. Resident City Commissioner Hood Hussein has warned all those intending to cause chaos in Owino Market that their days are numbered. This follows a strike organized by what he called self-seekers to antagonize the stability of the market last week, contesting the leadership of the market. Kawes Hood confirmed the arrest of 10 people allegedly behind the scuffle.
I'm warning you, no one will interfere, no one will destroy the peace of vendors in the market of Owino. I will deal with you. Your time has run out. Leave Owino.
A group of people protested the leadership of Owino Market, which caused a scuffle, leading to arrest of 10 people allegedly behind the protests. The resident city commissioner, Hood Hussein, while addressing the media, said Owino Market is now safe, asserting that government is in the process of taking full responsibility over it.
The Owino situation, as I talk now, is normal. The situation is calm. The vendors are going about their businesses calmly. It is only on Saturday where we had a situation stemming from self-seekers, people who want to continue exploiting poor Ugandans. The vendors are happy with the presidential directive. The directive is to the effect that no multiple taxes and that no to the former leadership. The leadership in those markets have been exploiting the vendors, and the president is against it, and the president came up with a directive to stop that.
Hussein revealed that the masterminds of the protests have been arrested as investigations in the matter continue.
What we have is that these rich men who have now exploited our people, they are now rich. These rich men are now fighting government officials who are trying to implement the presidential directive, because for them they are looking at money. So on Saturday, some of the former leaders of Owino Market attempted to collect taxes, to collect rent from some of the vendors on that building where the leadership of the market is housed. So the vendors complained to the current leadership of Owino and said, but the president said we shouldn't pay. Why are you forcing us? So the leadership intervened and told the vendors don't pay. So that's what sparked the chaos.
On the issue of campaigns for the leadership of Owino Market, Mr. Hussein said elections were put on hold, adding that whoever is doing so is wasting their time.
The campaigns, I think it is wrong, because right now we don't have elections. So campaigns for what? Posters for what? T-shirts for what? These elections, government will communicate. Right now there are no campaigns. But if they want to continue wasting their time, it's okay, they can go ahead and campaign. But there are no elections as of now, until such a time when we feel the situation is now under control and now the leadership can organize together with the government to have the elections held.
According to Mr. Hussein, government is in the process of compensating landlords of Owino Market, provided they present valid identification and ownership documentation.
The people who are creating situations are those who want to get into the leadership so that they continue exploiting our people, and we are saying no to that. Otherwise, there is no problem right now in Owino. It is self-seekers who want to continue, who want us to allow them to continue exploiting our people.
Chairperson Owino Market vowed to fight all those with intentions of destabilizing the market.
Leave Owino in peace. We shall find you whenever you are. If you want to deal with me, I will deal with you, because vendors have to do their business in peace.
Government recently stopped vendors from paying market dues as a way of improving their welfare. So that Kaye, Wycliffe Modach, UBC.
UBC Business News. The COVID-19 pandemic has given way to rise and growth of several innovations and applications from some of the upcoming youth entrepreneurs in Uganda. Among these is the Tubayo application, which seeks to promote and spur tourism growth for both local population and the foreigners through affordable tourism experiences across the country.
The increased adoption of technology during the recent lockdowns across the globe has enabled several businesses provide services to their customers and bridge new markets locally, regionally, and internationally. For Brian Namanya, the Chief Executive Officer of Tubayo, an application which aims at boosting domestic tourism and hospitality, the accessibility of technology and changing trends in the entrepreneurship space motivated him to start his business.
I had looked up companies like Amazon, Alibaba, and seen the kind of impact they have. You know, these are companies that are serving over hundreds of millions of customers monthly. And when I thought back home at all this, the way business was done normally, like with office space and all, you can't even serve 5,000 customers in a day. So I knew I wanted to get into internet business. And after looking at statistics which showed travel was the fastest growing sector in Uganda and in Africa generally, and so that motivated me to get in there.
The Tubayo marketplace application is built on the shortage of availability of data and adequate information on the tourism sector in order to provide affordable tourism packages, services and experiences all in one online platform.
The future is going to be about convenience, about big selection and about great price for the customer. And that's the question we asked ourselves in the team when we were starting. What will be true 10 years from now? Will the customer demand great convenience? That was a yes for us. Will they demand great price? 10, 20 years from now, the customer will always want to pay the best price for something. And will they demand convenience, being able to book from their home? They don't have to come to your office. And are they going to pay with mobile money?
The online platform also provides an opportunity for Ugandans to benefit from the hospitality value chain through listing their homes, apartments and guest houses as a way of offering accommodation for tourists.
So becoming a host is really simple with us. You simply get onto our platforms, either the website or the app, and then you go to become a host button. You follow the steps. We've designed it in a way that it's so easy. About 30 minutes you've even finished uploading your details and the pictures.
But what makes Nomanya's business model different from the other tourism and hospitality online marketplaces like the popular Airbnb?
Airbnb is in dollars and Ugandans are using Uganda shillings. So that differentiator looks small, but it creates a big difference with the locals getting familiar with the platform. And then two, we enable mobile money payments. They don't enable that.
With over 400,000 youth entering Uganda's job market annually, the adoption of technology is important, not only in creating job opportunities, but also marketing the businesses created. Charlotte Muge and Robin Yoso for UBC News.
On the international scene, 11 people were killed and 98 others injured in a train derailment on Sunday in the Delta city of Turk, north of the Egyptian capital Cairo, the health minister has confirmed. A total of 60 ambulances were sent to the scene to transfer victims to 3 public hospitals, the ministry confirmed. The accident happened after 4 carriages of the train on way from Cairo to the Delta city of Mansoura derailed, the Egyptian Ministry of Transportation said. This is the second major train derailment in less than a month. The first derailment happened on the 26th of March when 2 trains collided in the southern province of Sohag, killing at least 32 people and wounding over 100. A wildfire raging on the slopes of Cape Town's Table Mountain spread to the University of Cape Town, burning the historic campus library and forcing the evacuation of students on Sunday. Orange flames lit up the windows of the library that houses considerable archives and book collections, while firefighters sprayed jets of water to douse the blaze. At least 2 floors of Jaga Library burned, according to local news reports.
The fire is believed to have started as a vegetation fire just before 9 on Sunday morning, and the fire rapidly spread to the campus of the University of Cape Town. The university said in a statement that emergency services had evacuated all students on campus. Helicopters were working on the fire all day, trying to extinguish the blaze. But several key university buildings were destroyed. This building behind me caught alight. Onlookers on the ground say it could be a lab or a library in an academic department, but that still has to be clarified. This comes close after the music department is said to have been gutted on the lower campus. This historic windmill, a well-known landmark and museum in Cape Town, which was built in 1796, was also destroyed. A spokesperson for Cape Town's emergency services says firefighters worked throughout the night to bring the fire under control.
Of Uganda Football Associations, that's FUFA, has confirmed the departure of national football team coach Jonathan McKinstry. The federation had earlier refuted media claims on Saturday about the coach sacking. In a statement released on Monday, FUFA says they have reached an agreement with coach McKinstry. He was under scrutiny after Uganda lost to South Sudan in Kenya in AFCON qualifiers, and a poor show at Chan, and is said to be the final nail in his coffin. Coach McKinstry won 12 of his 18 games at the helm, drawing 3 and losing as many. The Northern Irishman had returned to office after he was asked to step aside from the 2nd to the 31st of March 2021. Abdallah Mubiru and Livingstone Babazi were at the helm as the Cranes failed to return to the Africa Cup of Nations. The federation is expected to confirm a coaching team ahead of the World Cup qualifiers that kick off later in June this year. Uganda will send a bigger contingent to the Equator Rally, that is the 3rd round of the Kenya National Rally Championship. 8 crews, including Duncan Mubiru, Hassan Alwi, Chris Takis, Fitidis, Yasin Nasser, Ronald Sebuguzi, Kefa Walubi, and Amanraj Rai, will face Kenyan crews in the event slated for the 23rd and 25th of April. National Council of Sports Chairman Donald Rukari Monday this morning flagged off the rally crews and cautioned them, among others, to be vigilant while taking part in the event, especially this season of the pandemic. And he added that the council will be available to help the motorsport body in the coming championship on their calendar, including the Pearl of Africa Rally Championship and the FIM Africa Motocross Championship. 3-time national rally champion Ronald Sebuguzi, navigated by Anthony Mugambwa, returns to Kenya with the not-so-fond memories from the 2019 Safari Rally. The Equator Rally will offer various safari officials, including stage commanders, their deputies, setup crew and media personnel, an opportunity to savor a real event situation. Moving on, 12 of Europe's top soccer clubs have announced plans to form a so-called European Super League in a move that looks set to rock the foundations of the sport's top competitions. In a joint announcement Sunday, 6 English clubs, that's Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur, alongside 3 teams from Italy, AC Milan, Inter Milan and Juventus, and 3 from Spain, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona and Real Madrid, laid out plans to form a breakaway competition. The group hopes to add 3 additional founders before the inaugural season, which is intended to commence as soon as practicable. According to the announcement posted on the 12 clubs' website, the announcement has resulted in widespread condemnation, with fans, players and politicians all criticizing the founding members for prioritizing financial gain and creating a closed shop for the richest clubs. In a statement issued in January, after rumors of the new Super League began circulating, FIFA said that it would not recognize the breakaway organization and went as far as to say that any club or player involved in such a competition would, as a consequence, not be allowed to participate in any competition organized by FIFA or their respective confederation, including soccer's top competition, the World Cup and the Champions League. American investment bank JP Morgan confirmed to CNN on Monday that it will be financing the proposed tournament, underlining yet again the importance of money to those seemingly running the modern game. Yes, thank you so much for watching. That is all we had for you tonight. Let's have a look at the top stories among what we had as we wind up. Police report 2021 indicates volume of crime reduced by 8.9% attributed to lockdown. FDC nominates Kiramu Municipality Legislator Semujung Nganda for 11th Parliament Speakership job. Bushfire destroys buildings at University of Cape Town in South Africa. While FIFA confirms departure of national football team coach Jonathan Markestry. That is all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Michael Jordan Lukomwa is my name, with Elizabeth Nakakoni and the whole team here. Wish you the best of night. Do not miss our next program. Bye-bye.
When peace like a river attended my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever I done, thou hast taught me to say.
Assalamu alaikum.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Asani dokutendezebwanga n'okwebazibwanga ye Allah jalla jalalu. Bulamu akyabuttuwadde Allah. Tukyategeera tukyali basiraamu ebisinga wonna bijja kujja insha Allah kasita bino ebisinga ebbeeyi obusiraamu n'obulamu tukyabirinafe abampuliriza wakati nga tuli mu mwezi guno ogwa Ramadhaani tuyinayo ibaada y'okulya ddaaku bannange nenze neewuunya okusaddaaka kugaane essala y'ekiro egaane n'ebigenderako Qur'ani egane nekino ekyokulya obuliddako nekyo nakyo kigaane Nabbi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam yagamba atya sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ti la yazalu an-nasa bi khairin ma ajjalu